some from Indonesia. We welcome all the participants, and it is a great honor for us to have you all here in this great agenda this morning, inshallah.
Kita buat lagi siri 2, siri 3.
Ahlan wa sahlan bihuduri jami'i al-hadirin fi hadhihi nadwa, inshallah. Okay, it is 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. for Malaysian time. So I would like to start this great agenda today. We have a webinar, we have seminar online today. But in this seminar we are holding this seminar, organizing this seminar for launching the great book, the book which is about MSMEs, which is this book is published from the ukhuwah of Islamic universities in Malaysia and Indonesia. So because of this ukhuwah, so this book is published and the participants can have it, can have this book in your hand. So this book is actually the result of the research between Islamic universities, between IIUM, University of Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta, Unisula Semarang, and University of Darussalam Gontor. Alhamdulillah, by this ukhuwah, we are Islamic universities can join together, can work together and research together, and finally this book is in our hand today. A'udzu billahi minasyaitonir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi
wabarakatuh.
Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillahi Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in, amma ba'du. Before starting our webinar, which will begin by the book launch by the Dean of Kuliah of Economics and Management Sciences of IIUM, I would like to proceed first by reading the Holy Quran, the last 3 verses of Surah Al-Baqarah, which is in this verse, especially in the last verse, there is a dua, which is this dua is a grant from Allah, which is not given to the ummah before our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So I would like to start this webinar by reciting these 3 verses in the last 3 verses of Surah Al-Baqarah. A'udzu billahi minasy syaithanir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Lillahi ma fis samawati wa ma fil ardh. Wa in tubdu ma fi anfusikum aw tukhfuhu yuhasibukum bihi Allah fayaghfiru liman yasha'u wa yu'adzibu man yasha'u wallahu ala kulli shay'in qadir. آمن الرسول بما أنزل إليه من ربه والمؤمنون كل آمن بالله وملائكته وكتبه ورسله لا نفرق بين أحد من رسله وقالوا سمعنا وأطعنا غفرانك ربنا وإليك المصير لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها لها ما كسبت وعليها ما اكتسبت ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا أو أخطأنا ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إصرا كما حملته على الذين من قبلنا ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين صدق الله العظيم. Will be granted rahmat, inayah, barakah, taufik from Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. The participant of this webinar is book launch by our great Dean, our Guru, the Dean of Kuliah of Economics and Management Sciences, Professor Hasanuddin. So I would like to welcome to Prof. Hasanuddin to launch this great book. Please, Prof. Hasanuddin.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Khairul. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
For inviting me to be part of this launch of the book bersamaan dengan the webinar on impact of COVID-19 on MSME, medium and small company SMEs. Jadi it is timely. We should thank Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala for enabling Malaysia and Indonesia to cooperate and collaborate a very important sector in the economy, which is the SMEs. SMEs, small and medium enterprises, plays a very important role, and in terms of employment, in terms of GDP contribution, and all the other things in line also with the teachings of Islam, di mana we are encouraged to be entrepreneurs, encouraged to have the ability to give. And I think SME is something which is to be thoroughly studied, to be thoroughly explored, and all those who are involved in making this book to be a success, we thank them all, and we pray that this noble task which has been taken will continue and will enhance further into the realities of things which is happening, and we can actually make an impact and a change in the livelihood of all the people involved, both from Malaysia and Indonesia. We are very close, the affinity between Malaysia and Singapore, Indonesia, sometimes are good, sometimes bad, because when we are very close, things happens. Especially on terms of the workforce. There is a big workforce in Malaysia from Indonesia, and as been said, we have to take good care, treat each other as brothers and sisters, and that is the way where the barakah will be there, and whatever undertaking we take, especially in terms of economic activity, in terms of entrepreneurship. Because hari ini, if we have enough capital and Indonesia is providing the labor, we should encourage this form of cooperation, and nobody should be taking advantage of each other. And so this book, Cross-Border SMEs, I think have laid out all the findings, empirical research in terms of what it is, the factual things which are in play, and those weaknesses can be identified as policy for the government of both the countries. And as you know, by the UNIDA, the UNISILA, the UMY, our alumni, we are very happy, very proud of our alumni in Indonesia. And not only that, our alumni from IIUM is also playing a very important role in the financial sector blueprint, the apa NK, KNKS, ML Sultan and all those who were in IIUM, either in the Kuliah or in the Graduate School of Management. So the collaboration, I pray to Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala that it will be sustained, it will be continued, and let us really heartful thanks to Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala, and we pray that whatever deeds which we are doing can really make a change to the people of Malaysia and Indonesia. Kalau umat kita maju, umat kita kaya, that is the real achievement of whatever we have endowed. So I think with that, I officially launch the cross-border SMEs. Mungkin kita akan gunakan all those platforms to promote this book, so as for us to be encouraged to do more in the future. So semua dekan-dekan daripada semua affiliated universities to be part of this book, I thank you all, and I thank you all for the encouragement you have given to your staff to collaborate and to cooperate, and please move on in this venture so that we can really seriously see the fruits of the future generation. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much from Prof. Hasanuddin. Jazakallah khairan. So our next agenda, we will listen the presentation from our great speakers. For the first speaker will be Prof. Moha Asri Abdullah. He is currently in lecturer in IIUM, and he has very great academic professional qualification. His PhD was done in University of London for small business and development economics. His research interest is basically on small business management, entrepreneurship, sustainable economic development, micro enterprises and microfinance, and also halal industry and halal entrepreneurship. So we can say that Prof. Moha is the great figure in this book, and he is actually the key person who is really doing many things in this research together between these Islamic universities. So I will give plenty time for him, but of course it will be around MSMEs is very important. It is the backbone of our economy. I always remember the classic scholar who is saying, if you want to see the welfare of the state, it is very simple, he said, just see the market. Who honor the market? If the majority of society honor the market, then the society are in welfare. But if you find just few societies, just few people having the market, so the society is not in the welfare. So it is saying that SMEs is really the backbone. The greater SMEs, the greater entrepreneurship there in the state. So the welfare can be easily happen, easily seen in that country. So I would like to welcome to Prof. Moha Asri Abdullah to start this presentation. Please, Prof. Moha, start your presentation.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin wassalatu wassalamu ala Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that today we are able to be on the same platforms. Dear respectable moderators, Dr. Khairul, the respective honorable deans, and my respective colleague speakers, Dr. Rizals as well as Dr. Zul. So I would like to straight to my presentations as per given title. It is about the impacts of COVID-19 on MSMEs, issues and solutions. I will try as much as possible to comply this scopes of title provided to me. With first about the what I would like to share today, not necessarily that I know everything. Allah knows everything, it's not me. But this is what I'm sharing. All right. Pardon me if you find this one is not on par with your expectations. But these are some of the things that I would like to share. First, let me look at micro, small, and medium enterprises in brief. Before I go to the impacts a little bit of COVID-19 in Malaysian context, and let's perhaps our my respectable colleague speakers from Indonesia, Rizal, can do perhaps in the context of Indonesia. And also I would like to relate afterwards the books on cross-border SMEs, Malaysia, Indonesia, and what we can tap from these books to relate to the major issues and challenges, which leads for me to share on the actions to be taken with regards to the conditions or situations of SMEs today in Malaysia in particular. So after which, of course, conclusions will be provided. As per micro, small, and medium enterprises in brief, I think some of you have mentioned this earlier. The definitions is this, that in Malaysia in particular, much of the definition being refers to the one that's being provided by SME Corps, even though there has not been consensus on this by certain scholars and institutions. I don't want to repeat on the on this definitions because most of you observe it. I don't want to say it, but I just show it here. But with regards to the SME in brief, in terms of total establishments in Malaysia, is about 99% as of last year. Registered with SME Corps is close to 1 million already numbers of establishments in this country. Of course, Indonesia is much more, considering huge populations out there, of course. And in terms of employment, SMEs, not but SMEs alone consists of about 66.2% in the workforce, and it has contributed to about 38.9% to GDP, all right, and the exports is about 17.7%, if I'm not mistaken. The export consists SMEs exporting as totals of GDP. All right. What I would like to highlight here is also that in some other countries, even though definition has not been a unified forms, different countries has different definitions, of course, and there has not been a consensus on the definitions of MSMEs. Nonetheless, we found that relatively the higher or the advance is in the economy. the higher is the contributions of SMEs to GDP, to exports, to jobs creation or jobs or labor workforce of the total workforce of respective nationals or nations. So this has been the case, despite the facts that you may say small business for US, say for example, consists of those less than 500 employees, which is here is very big already. So this is a different definitions that we have to understand in this context. As I would like to comply on the impacts of COVID-19 on MSMEs, as what is given the title, perhaps I would like to ponder on some statistics here, which may be relevant, that the effects has been very severe, has been tremendous, and loss, because contraction was or has been expected to about 70% for this year, contractions of GDP as a result of COVID-19. We see here that the number of sales reduced as much as 67.8% of different business. We see also the spendings from savings also much less, all right, to amounts of 68.9, all right, and the survival risk or sustainability levels of many SMEs, unfortunately, is very short. You know, in the context of Malaysia, it's found that 53.4% able only to survive as long as only 1 to 2 months. This is unbearable to them. With regards to the employees, of course, as a result of the COVID, we see that 90% reduced hours, 16.5% unpaid, all right, and it's already in 33.8% employees termination. This is from April to May, about less than 2 months, less than a month here. But the main points I would like to emphasize is that with regards to SMEs, when COVID happens, 3 things that they are being confronting with. First and foremost is the salary payments that they cannot do it because shortage of working capitals, all right? And this is derived also from non-consumers, all right? Consumers contraction so much so that some companies sadly only have 10%, 5% of the normal total sales, all right? But despite the fact there are many other industries also growing. Let me Jana, all right? Short-term economic recovery plans consists of about the funds about 35 million, all right, to upgrade dams, develop capacity buildings, all right, automation, digitalization, more cyber present, e-commerce, so forth and so forth. Nonetheless, all right, many still complain they could not get access. This is the issue. And should they get access, sufficiency is not there. This is the issue also. So based on this, that's what we need in the access to finance is that the ability of SME to engage in the financial systems, all right, like peer-to-peer crowdfundings, if conventional crowdfundings could not be secure, all right, business angel to peer-to-peers, all right, in the crowdfundings, business angels to the entrepreneurs. This is all the mechanisms that we have to find out to engage the ability of SMEs to the financial systems of respective countries. All right. Another second realizations that I think immediately important is to enhance the cyber presence of SMEs today. All right. When we say cyber presence, of course, company website, e-commerce platform, social media, you name it. All right. From my records, when we deal with consultations with companies under the KPMG, I found that food and beverage industry who ready at the times embarks on these e-commerce systems, their sales fluctuates. All right, their sales shoot up as much as 3 times the normal times. When we did that last month, their total revenue of the year already been realized more than higher than that. That shows to me a very importance for the firms to adopt this e-commerce, all right, as well as the cyber presence with them, all right. And of course, in Malaysia, there are many companies, many agencies providing this. You name it, MDEX, Matrix, MTDC, MSME Courts, Magic Platforms, you name it, and different schemes available. The thing is that for SMEs or MSMEs is to aware to go to respective website, because application is online these days. Because during the MCO, this is all online. So you don't have to go anywhere, just understand the requirements and the forms. All right. And another e-market platform are these well-known websites to sell your products. And of course, for this matter, at one time, Matrix has provided schemes, all right, to allow businesses, especially micro and small, medium enterprises, to be with Alibaba, to be with Shopee. They provide funds, free grants, grants to the maximums of 5,000 to develop website and link up with the Alibaba and Shopee. This has been provided by the governments as well. All right, so the second part here, oh, where is it? Sorry, the second one. All right, the assistance. All right, before the second one, digitalization is very important. Digitalizations involve what I call as ERP, right? ERP is about enterprise resource planning. I mean automations of those parts, which I'm referring to back-end technology. All right, our payroll, our banking, cash management, you know, all this online, because you have to click the buttons. Even though you are far away, you can approve the transactions outright, say for example, or you can approve the payments outright. All right, this is very important. So digitalization includes this because it gives you the main three, the major three, major three categories improvements for your companies. One is improve efficiency, of course. Second is improve economies of scale. You can leverage on the scales of sales. All right, so as you can realize economies of scale. All right, and of course it will enhance your competitions and competitiveness levels. So when it comes to digitalizations of micro, small, and medium enterprises, 5 key areas that are needed. All right, to me, when I observe this is what I found. All right, one is digitalization from procurements and inventory. All right, and then accounting, taxes, digital marketing as well, e-commerce as well, e-post systems, whereby this creates efficiency and productivity. Why? Like say e-post systems, just examples. It's a BIPing systems whereby, all right, any shortage or possible shortage or coming shortage of your raw material will be into systems. Then you can alert to the suppliers to replenish your stocks. So this kind of system provide companies a very much, all right, improve efficiency in their operations. Okay, but if we go to a larger companies, all right, it can cover to 5 dimensions of technology adoptions. All right, to improve productivity from running the company, all right, servicing, innovating and developing products and services. All right, marketing and delivering. All right, as well as selling aspects of the operations. Yeah, right. If we move to a little bit smaller and larger firms, these are needs for technology adoptions, including big data analytics, cloud computing, cyber security. All right. So this is advanced, but even though it's less relevant to micro and small, it is very much relevant to medium and large, as much as is needed. Today also, we should encourage our MSMEs where they can to accommodate revolutions 4.0, Industrial Revolution 4.0, which consists, all right, a numbers of technology options that they could embrace, understand, and implements it for their business, so as efficiency and productivity will rise automatically. So we can see like cyber security, cloud computing, mobile technologies, and machine-to-machines technology, 3G printings, all this bring about enhancement pathways for each and respective companies in the business today. All right. When we relate to agencies providing this, you can have immense technology, right? Institutions. They can come in terms of grants as well as fundings. SME Corp, say for example, is the front runner of this, because they're supposed to be the agency who is coordinating all support program for MSMEs. All right. You see MIDA, and MPC, MEMDAT, Matric, MIDA, you name it. These are the agencies. I'm not mentioning the small one like Tekong, like Amanah, Ikthiar, right? Which means that to one extent, the availability of assistance is there for small and medium enterprises. The issue is now is accessibility and sufficiency, I suppose. All right, and this is also another certain agencies that provide supports for technology adoptions in SMEs. All right. Initiative or realization 4 is capacity buildings. Capacity buildings is very important because it will connect all to all resources. It is good if companies can leverage on the automations, link ups all resources, be it employees, be it machines, be it plants, all right, be it with suppliers. So this enable companies, all right, to have logistics, transportation, warehouse in one place, all right, and able to produce goods and services on par with the markets out there while doing these automations. So when I'm looking at automation here, it's on front end, not back end technology. Front end is automates the systems, automate equipments. All right, as what in the SME Corps they have SCORE. All right, SCORE is the systems that allow to look at the performance. All right, the financial, the levels of the automation, and what capacity of the workers. So all this enable firms to gauge where they are and where they can improve in terms of technology, all right, adoptions. Okay, when we relate to capacity buildings of micro, small, and medium enterprises, I take up this source from some of this source from SME Corps. All right, it can cover rather 10 most dimensions where the holistic improvements can be performed, can be realized within SMEs. All right. First is the diagnostic tool rating. This I mentioned SCORE. The tool will enable us to gauge where each and respective SMEs belong to in terms of their positions, from which we can head out, all right, their status accordingly. This is very important. Of course, brand developments, financial gateways, outreach programs. We can also have these recognitions of Enterprise 50 Awards, the mostly medium enterprises that won a big achievements in the market leads. All right. Of course, different agencies also in the additions to SME Corps, not just SME Corp I'm talking here. So capacity buildings I mentioned earlier in automation and whatnot, technology adoptions. All right. And of course, entrepreneur programs also cover wide range of assistance and supports for SMEs, all right, where we can direct according to their needs. We cannot say that share them all here. Of course, access market, okay, market access is also very important, all right. So these are some of the things that I think SME needs, all right, in order to be able to survive and sustainable in the markets today in view of COVID-19. I stop here first in these presentations. Let me allow other speakers as well to chip in. Thank you very much for giving me the times, Dr. Khairun, as a chairman. Inshallah, I come back with more if there's needed and respond to the questions from the audience. With that, thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Jazakumullah khairan, Prof. Maha Abdullah. He has presented everything about SMEs in its relationship with COVID-19. Very interesting there. So talking about also how we can include MSMEs in finance. So there are three important things: availability, accessibility, and sufficiency. Yes, it is sometimes available, but it is not accessible. And sometimes it is assessed but not sufficient. So there are many issues, and he has said to us many things. And I hope if you have question participants, you can write in our chat box. And also I want to remind all the participants to fill our link for registration. Then we can arrange e-certificate for you within this week, inshallah. For the next speaker, I would like to welcome Associate Professor Dr. Jul Jastri. He is currently Associate Professor in the Department of Finance at the International Islamic University. He teaches bank management, Islamic wealth management, marketing of financial services, and Islamic financing management. He was also invited to conduct research on small medium enterprise at IZU International Sabahattin Zaim University in Turkey. So Dr. Zul is like Prof. Moha. He was also has great capacity in these MSMEs, and I would like to welcome him to present his great presentation. Please, Dr. Zul, and you have around 20 minutes, inshallah. Dr. Zul is still preparing his slide presentation. Dr. Jul Jastri obtained his PhD in Islamic Banking and Finance from University Science Malaysia in 2018, and his PhD thesis won fourth placing in the National Intervarsity Best Thesis in 2011. Yes, brief, please, Dr. Jul Jastri, to start your presentation. We cannot hear the voice. Yes, we have your slide already, Azul. Yes, we are waiting for Dr. Zul. It's still prior to joining the academia. Dr. Zul also, he has served the banking industry for 25 years. So it is a very long time for him to really know the financial system and its relationship with medium, small, small, medium enterprises. Soon, inshallah, we will listen the presentation from Dr. Jul Jasri Abdullah, inshallah. Abdullah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Yes.
Yes, thank you very much, Prof. Dr. Humam, my dear colleagues. I thought I would be the third speaker, but Prof. Humam given me the second speaker. So thank you very much. I think very impressive presentation by Prof. Moha. Of course, Prof. Moha is very senior professor in this area. SME, I'm still learning from him. And it has taught me a lot. But the book is the process of matching grant between the three universities. As you know, Pak Umam, we work hard for this research grant. So we paid about 15,000, if I'm not mistaken, from each university. And as you are aware, at that time, the matching grant also very competitive, I remember, and that amount is also not enough, if I'm not mistaken, and we put on our own money, but alhamdulillah, it's a success. So for today's occasion, we have two purposes, the book launch, and we hope that the book can be printed. I think when Dr. Rizal speak afterwards, he will also comment on the availability of this book, because this book is been processed by UMY Press, okay? So he will give all the links. All right, without any waste of time, I will share my slides here. My slides here consist of these following contents. Okay, what is the introduction? I think most of it retouched by Prof. Moha. And then we also like to know what are the institution, government bodies concerning SME or MSME also in Malaysia. Then we will discuss on the constraints, okay, of MSME. And then I will do a case study. In fact, I'm in the process of doing an analysis of one MSME, very important organization in Malaysia. We call it Amanah Ikthiar Malaysia, okay, AIM. So this is just nice for me when I got the result. Although it's not full analysis, but this is empirical, of which we can share what is the event, what is the result of that, and I will conclude with some recommendation. Okay. Okay. SME in Malaysia, as mentioned by Prof. Moha, okay, started back in 1971 with the introduction of the new economic policy, or we call it Dasar Ekonomi Baru Malaysia, and at that time to address issues with regard to small businesses. Okay. Like Indonesia, also Malaysia have this problem of upgrading small businesses with regard to their social welfare. Okay, and they are small, and since they are small, they are not bankable. Okay, so some of the pointers mentioned by Prof. Moha is correct. He talked about financial inclusion and things like this. So who's going to cater for these people? They're slightly, in fact, slightly they're lower under the SME. Okay, so I will show the definition is also written there, right? So in 1970s, all right, Malaysian government emphasized on this, and also carried out for subsequent Malaysia Plan 7, 8, 8, and then after that, even up to now 11, 12, and just last Malaysia Plan. The emphasis has already been given to what they call that digitalization, all right? A lot of emphasis to be given on how are we going to address, even at that time, it was not the pandemic yet, you know, when it was tabled last year, because pandemic will start this year. So already there's a talk, already a concern that SME or MSME as also need to be do something with them. All right. The reason is this, because as you mentioned there, also mentioned by Prof. Muhammad, it's a growing industry. All right. 37% in 2015, 38% in 2018. Subsequently, it has been a growing industry whereby everybody would participate. In Japan, the small industry are the one who is supporting the big industry. All right. For example, like the Toyota, the Honda and whatnot have been supplying by small industries. Okay. So these small industries is very important in terms of employment or providing to the what you call the income of the economy. So we must cater for them. Right. If they are in trouble, we must support them. All right, we are in a COVID-19 situation, we must support them because they are the small people. All right, so we need to do something with them. All right, so the three ticks there is also related, okay, to what we want to do here. We want to say that they offer good opportunities, okay, and they can lower the employment rate and increase the competition and productivity of the country. All right. So structurally, we can define SME and MSME into these three triangles. Okay, one is of course the micros. This is our concern, the green one, by definition of manufacturing and also services. All right, for manufacturing, it's less than turnover of 300,000. Okay, and then for services is also same thing, less than 5. Okay, for small, it is actually 300,000 to less than 15 million. And for services, 300,000 and less than 3 million. So it seems that manufacturing is more. It's logical because it's bigger, right? And also for sales turnover, for the manufacturing, it is more than the services. But whatever it is, we must think that, because when we do the study, you must see the MSE involved in both products, also services business. Okay. So what happened in COVID-19 is that come March this year, there is a lockdown situation. All right. Lockdown situation means the customer are not able to go out and reach the the businesses. Of course, we have Malaysia, we have Pasar Malam here. I'm sure Indonesia also have that. I've been there several times in Jogja and Unida also. There are people who sells these small fruits, small foods all outside. So if they don't have the they don't have the people coming in, then definitely they'll be cut off in their sales. All right, cut off in their sales. So there's no supplier to it. But meanwhile, they have to bear their fixed costs. Fixed costs here means the rental, the electricity. This is for sure they have to pay. All right? But sales is not coming in. So what happened that in Malaysia, government immediately come and give this financial stimulus package up to 250 billion. But now in the subsequent budget, it's even more. Let's increase more now. All right. So very quickly, I just touch on the financial institution. They are from the banks. They are the commercial banks. All right, microfinance. There are also scheme from the development financial institution. These institutions are specialized institutions. For example, Agro Bank, Bank Rakyat, SME Bank. Okay, these are dedicated to cater for the MSME. Okay, and central bank also have certain scheme in the SME. For example, we have Bank Simpanan Nasional SME products. Okay, so the one that I've highlighted in red there is the one that I'm going to focus after this. This is called what in Malaysia called AIM, Amanah Ikthiar Malaysia. And Amanah Ikthiar Malaysia focus on women entrepreneurs. All right. And they are actually the Grameen Bank model, right? Grameen model, in of course the successful one in Bangladesh, and also in Indonesia maybe they have a slightly different model. And then we have the Kun. The Kun is one of the small business or entrepreneurs also from the government. and the special government agencies like, for example, PUNB, Perbadanan Usahawan Nasional Berhad, and then MARA, all right, MARA is dedicated for the Bumiputra businesses and other things. All right. So to summarize on these issues, before we go to what is the solution, you must understand actually what is this MSME, what is their problem in accessing to it. All right. Number one is, of course, is a lack of collateral. All right. This on the right side, I don't have to mention so much. As we are all academicians here, we can look at all this literature, okay, to support that these people lack collateral, okay, lack status and form of business, meaning they are so small, some of them are not registered also. So if they are not registered, how are they going to, what they call that, being given loan, all right? The bank definitely would not want to give them loan, all right? Higher transaction costs, all right? And then insufficient documentation. These are some issues that are so small that, you know, the banks are not willing to take them and give them. So what are we going to do? Okay, they're definitely an issue. All right, my case study here, as I said, I want to share also my empirical, is that on Amanah Ikthiar, Malaysia. Okay, as I said, this is based on the Grumman model and established in 1987. All right, the purpose is to provide assistance to small business, especially women. Okay, women, and the idea is to reduce poverty by handling microcredit right to the poor, finance and how we need to increase their income. Okay, this is their objective, right? It has two main features. One is financing without collateral, all right, as I said just now, bank cannot cater for them. And micro enterprises, and they call these people as friends. In Malaysia, you call it sahabats, okay? Required to deposit in saving and a portion amount to be borrowed. And AIM have all these schemes. Okay, according to what we have in the record, is a very successful scheme. As you can see there, it decreased poverty to 97% from 72 to 02. All right, and average living standard for people increased from 264 1970 to 5,000. So it's a remarkable achievement for over only about something like about 30, 40 years. The amount of income has multiple. All right. So the effectiveness of AIM in meeting these financial needs of micro enterprise indeed is very important. All right, very important. And the sahabats have shown positive income, right, as written by many literatures. Okay, this is basically their scheme. They have a few schemes. One is iMasra, basic scheme. They give financing up to 10,000 and up to 100 weeks of repayment. Okay, then we have Sri Kandi, purpose for economic growth, Wibawa, seasoning financing. So occasionally when this sahabat needs financing, they can apply to any of these scheme. They have also Sejahtera, all right, for social business, Penyayang and Bestari. So these are actually scheme which is allowed by the sahabat to borrow. All right. Now, what happened in COVID-19 is this: the management of the IM have introduced stimulus packages. Okay, 8 stimulus packages. All right, amounting to 682 million for sahabat, especially due to the in Malaysia called movement control order. All right, affecting the income and ability to repay the AIM loans. All right, so very briefly, I just want to read. Maybe you can see also postponement of repayment collection. All right, we call it moratorium, compulsory withdrawal authorization, and then postponement of listari. This is the one that we said just now, and a lot of deferment. All right, and distribution of zakat. This one I would like to touch a little bit because I'm going to end up with this also. Right, number 5, distribution of zakat for co-op sahabat business amounted to 621 million. So you can see now, this is actually how we should address the small business. We give them loan and business in terms of interest is not going to help them. They are already poor, then you charge them interest, they'll be even more poorer. we should look at other sources. For example, like zakat, wakaf, and sadaqah. These are the things that we should be focusing at to assist these people. Okay. Then from our analysis of the problem statement, we can divide it into three. One is there is a need for government financial support, all right, which I mentioned just now. Number two is the lack of literacy. All right, so these people are not able to understand their financial position, okay, and not the budget, and also the lack of knowledge of digitalization, which Prof. Moha has already mentioned just now. Okay, so my additional point here that I want to access is to give the empirical. Empirical means what is the result of the research that indicates, all right? So we did a survey with the help of AIMS, of course, the director Tuan Syed has helped us, and he has instructed 7 of the SME branches in Wilayah and Selangor. Okay, because of the COVID, we cannot do it too much. We only do Malaysia, Selangor and KL, which actually is the Klang Valley. So if we get this result, more or less, it portray the result of the whole Malaysia, right? And then our questions are just very simple. Number one, we ask this question, okay? How the pandemic affected your business? Okay, and what is the package from AIM? And then number two, how is your training in the past has been undertaken? What is your training you want in future? All right, and of course the last one is the digitalization. All right, I'll just highlight in view of time. I think I would rather spend more time for us to discuss. Okay, this basically on financial package received from AIM, all right? So we asked this question in view of COVID-19, okay, what would you want to do with your business? Okay, so what we can see there, of the 379 respondents, 306 said, I will continue the same business. Okay, 80% of that. And then only 73 said, I will change to a new business. All right, so in other words, they are quite comfortable in their old business. Then we will see, how this will be affected. And then we ask this question, AIM stimulus package I have obtained. All right, what is your situation? So defer in weekly collection, 203 has said that. So this indicates that they are in financial problem. All right, and then permission to withdraw their saving that they have, they are asking them to take it out now. They need the money. For example, like in Malaysia, we have the EPF issue. They're taking out from their EPF1 account, 118. Okay, that's quite big, out of 334. All right, and then they want allocate fund, 9, and others. Okay, and in general opinion, there we say, what is the package? How do you think of the package offered by AIM? So 87 said, I'm not qualified. Okay, we need to find out here actually why they're not qualified. Okay, lack of information, 61. The process is difficult, 18, and insufficient amount. Okay, the amount is insufficient for them to give. All right, second issue, which is very important issue, is actually what is the type of training undertaken? Meaning, if they have been trained in this situation so far, is it sufficient for them to face the pandemic situation or not? So what we found out here actually, what is needed here is that marketing. Is it? 75% of them needs marketing. Right? Second, accounting. Marketing means digitalization. They know, in the current situation, they are not prepared already. Even before the COVID, they are having this problem. Now it's even worse. All right. Digitalization, 44. Accounting, bookkeeping. So these are the things that we need to issue. If they can't prepare proper accounts, how are they going to prepare for the budget? Correct or not? All right. So we ask this question, promote business digitalization. Okay, all this one I'm going to say is just digitalization, and say yes, 298 believe, yes, we should do digitalization. All right, and then do you know? 79% say I do not have the knowledge on digital marketing. Okay, and then some 45 say that I do not have smartphone. Okay, and some say I prefer to do the traditional way. But how are they going to do the traditional way? Because in Malaysia, I think you also in Indonesia, we also have this like ikan bilis, kerepek, and all this. So ikan bilis and kerepek now is also available in Lazada. It's also available in Shopee. So these are the traditional business they are actually doing, but now it's been taken by big warehouses, big supermarket. So how are they going to survive? What are they going to sell? Okay. In terms of digital platform, yes, some of them have used Facebook and so on. Okay. And then, okay, smartphone, yeah, some of them has learned 233. And then for the digital plan, But what's interesting here actually is the payment method. Half or 2/3 of them is being on cash on delivery. Meaning what? They want the customer to go there and pay. All right. As you are aware, this is out of date. Now we are using a lot of smart things, e-wallet, e-purse, all this. These are the things that our people should realize. Okay. And also on and so forth. For example, like sales are affecting them. All right. And what are the challenges that they face? Okay. For example, they don't know digital marketing, 148, and so on and so forth. All right. So what are the steps taken? Well, the steps taken in COVID-19 is, of course, to introduce, for example, salary subsidy. Okay, this is the initial stage, prior budget. After budget, more has been introduced. But I just have this record here. The government has introduced wage subsidy, $600 a month for workers with a salary below $4,000 for 3 months. Okay, employs 50% drop in business. All right, micro grant. Okay, this is the government one, but also equivalent to the MSME. It's almost the same because actually the MSME also getting the budget from the government. Okay, BNM has set up additional 4.5 billion for SME, and then bank loan moratorium 6 months, but 6 months now it's been extended to another 6 months to another 6 months. Okay, so we never know when this will be ending. Even budget also approved another 6 months, and new facilities. New facilities indicates that there is not enough fund in the present facility. All right, there's an issue regarding cash flows, which is very obvious. All right, so I think I'm going to stop here because actually the rest of my slide will be my conclusion. You see, so I think Pak Umam will allow 5 minutes roll out. Pak Umam, so I will stop here and. I will allow the next speaker. Inshallah, we will have more question and answer. Okay, thank you very much for listening. Yeah, Pak Umar.
Yes, Dr. Zul, jazakumullah khairan. So, yes, we are having now for our last speaker. He is Dr. Rizal Yahya. Was born in Padang 1973. It is why he became our last speaker because it is based on seniority, Dr. Zul. So, Prof.
MashaAllah. MashaAllah. You should have told me. MashaAllah.
So it is like of adab, yeah. Then
the guru must
be first, and then the student.
Oh no.
So. Yeah. He is currently the Dean of Faculty of Economic and Business, University of Muhammadiyah, Yogyakarta. And in 2017, he received an award from UMY as the best lecturer. And I'm sure in this year, he is the best Dean of UMY, inshallah, the best Dean. Okay, without overdue, but after listening from Prof. Moha, Prof. Jul, I just remembering about the ayah that we are created by Allah as Khalifah fil Ard. Maybe today we have problem in our education, which is reducing human just as workers, just as something, just factor of production. So it is So when there is COVID-19, so human cannot it is not simple by human to respond fast and do as Khalifatullah fil ard. Maybe there is another problem that we can talk later. I think there are some questions already raised by participants, but I will open the question and answer after finishing our last speaker, Dr. Rizal Yahya. And I would like to welcome to Associate Professor Dr. Rizal Yahya to present his presentation. Yes, please, Pak Yahya, Pak Rizal.
Okay, thank you so much, Ustaz Dr. Umam, our Ustaz from Gontor, Dean of Faculty Economics and Management. Very nice introduction from you. Yes, indeed, I'm the youngest. Yeah, and it is honor for me to work with the Guru Prof. Moha, Dr. Zul, on producing the book, joint research, and also now comes to the book launching. Alhamdulillah, thank you so much, Professor Hasanuddin, for launching the book, and thank you for giving the opportunity for Muhammadiyah Jogja, WME Press, to publish the book, to produce the book. Next, we will give you the information later about how to get the book that we already made based on the joint research between IIUM, Muhammadiyah Jogja, Unida Gontor, and Unisula. Okay. Before I continue, I would like to check whether my slide is there and whether you can hear me clearly, Dr. Umam. Hello?
Yes, I can see your slide, Dr. Rizal.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. My voice is so clear because
Very
I'm
clear,
doing
very
my
clear.
office, I'm doing my at home.
Very clear, Dr. Rizal.
Alhamdulillah, thank you so much. Right, my presentation, I will just go quick with my presentation. All has been covered actually by Prof. Moha and Dr. Zul, but I just like highlight a little bit on Indonesian side. What the development SMEs Indonesia before COVID and COVID figure Indonesia, what's impact to Indonesia SME, and what support needed for SME, what have been done, problems still exist, and solution needed from Indonesia perspective. Okay. Same with already explained by Prof. Moha, Dr. Zul, that SMEs has a very big contribution, is very important to Indonesian as well. As we see here, the development in terms of number of units is increasing from year to year, reaching in 2018, the data that I have, the latest one, 64 million units, which is equivalent to 99, almost 100%, yeah, 99.99% of total enterprise in Indonesia, because the big companies is only about 5,500, and so there's only less than 1% even. Okay, and then same thing in terms of workers, yeah. Indonesia SMEs more workers in the SMEs, yeah, were reaching 97%. It seems larger than Malaysia, which is I have from Prof. Moha presentation before, was about 60%. So it's very depend on the SMEs in Indonesia. So only 3%, the rest in the big company. So it is really important issue to discuss as part what the Dean Hasanuddin said, that SME is very critical, very urgent, very important to be researched and discussed. Okay, and from the contribution, it contributes a lot to Indonesian GDP. Yeah, almost reaching 60% in 2019. Yeah, where our GDP now is 14,000 trillion, and then the SMEs contribute 8,500 trillion. So it shows that's very big contribution. But also you can see also that although the SMEs 99.99% of the units of the enterprises, but it only contributes 57%. So I suppose that means that most of the figure of the SMEs is still in the micro level. If we break down the data, the micro scale is 95% of the micro scale. So even the medium size is not as much also. So we can see that there are a lot, but not so strong. But then if they are all together reach 57.8%. So this is the figure contribution. Now you see that COVID-19 first announced 2nd of March first case, 2nd March 2020, and then by 6 December, it is already more than 500,000 cases in Indonesia. In one day, 6,000. Yeah. How the government responses to this pandemic? Government issued a regulation, large-scale social restrictions, which people between movement from one town to the other town, one area to the area is limited, and also some area local scale they don't allow people to enter, and also the shop closed, even the mosque closed, activity at home. This has been tightly conducted for the first 2 months, and then Jakarta is very tighter in Jakarta because a lot of cases there. We know about it. But then at the end of May, the president promoted new normal. Then people move quite a lot. Now you can see that when after promoting new normal, May and then June until now, the cases keep increasing. So we can see that there is a trade-off between economics, with giving the more space to operate, but then it increased the cases of COVID cases. So I can see that in Malaysia is more tighter, and then we can see that the figure, the figure that you can see the comparison. I took the comparison in some Asian countries. Indonesia is the biggest cases for one-day cases reaching 6,000. Almost 6,000. Malaysia is about 1,000 for one-day case in the last few days. And then still much lower than Indonesia. But then in terms of per million cases, Malaysia is more than Indonesia, but it is in terms of the death rate, Indonesia is much higher than other countries in ASEAN. I would like to say here, what I highlight here, I add one figure here, this data from Asian Development Bank, accompanying the data about COVID figure. What happened to the economic growth? Malaysia, I can see that's -5%, the economic growth. Philippines, -7%. Indonesia, -1%. Myanmar has been positive. Singapore, negative. I'm trying to figure out, is it because of the level of the restriction? Because I can see that Malaysia is more restricted than Indonesia. For sure, then the more limitation for the business operating. But Indonesia government, I say that at the end of May, the government has been a bit loose. They say with the new normal, but at the expense of number of people get positive in COVID and increase the number of deaths. This the figure. So this opportunity cost in these aspects. We have to bear in mind that maybe the economics will depend also on how loose or how tight the government's addressing the COVID in terms of people movement. Now, what is the effect to the enterprise? 82%. There's a survey from the Indonesian Statistical Board that they conducted in July. It is already about 5 months, March, April, May, June, July, 5 months after the COVID. Yeah, and they reported in September. Yeah, 82% of the SMEs, yeah, decline in terms of the sales. Don't know about the Malaysia, but this Indonesia only 14% say the same. And if you look at the different between how it affects micro, small, and medium and big, I can see that micro and small enterprise have more declining in terms of the sales. As what Prof. Moha said, this crisis has made the damage more to the small, to SMEs rather than to the big company. And this shows the same figure with that one. Yeah, 84% micro and small enterprise decline in sales, and then big company only 82%. Yeah, so this is the figure. And Indonesia, based on the survey of statistical, most affected industry is accommodation, like hotel. Prof. Moha has already mentioned before the case in Malaysia. The same happened in Indonesia. Food and beverages, restaurant closed. Yeah, they don't sell, they don't open, they are not allowed to open. Yeah, especially in the first 2 months. Until now, some also difficult to open. Yeah, had problem. And other service, transportation affected. Yeah, people not move from one town to the town, especially for the because people rather stay at home. Yeah, and least effective in water, waste, electricity, gas, and real estate. So this seems same figure with Malaysia. And in terms, it also affect the workers. About 35 companies, enterprise, SMEs reduce the workers, 35%, but 62% still keep their workers. If they compare the data between the big, medium companies, more reduction in the big, medium companies to reduce the workers. So it seems that big, medium company, they make efficiency through the reduction of their workers, rather than this micro and small enterprise. So if they have more resources to maneuver in this pandemic, it seems to me, but then at the cost of the workers reduction. And there's data from ILO, International Labour Organization, survey at the first 2 months, after 2 months COVID, 571 enterprises, much less than the statistical, which is 35,000 companies, the survey. This one 571, but it shows that 3%, about 65% company stopped temporarily, and about 32 companies still running, never stop during COVID. Maybe that's the one that's not really affected, the one. But 3% only stop permanently. This is 2 months pandemic. And if you look at the latest survey from the statistical board, they conducted survey in July and say that from the 35,000 the survey, about 42% can survive for 3 months ahead. In terms of they still have cash, they can have the resources, but then 58% can survive more than 3 months. So those in heavy pressure is 42% of the SMEs. Now, what support are needed based on the survey also? It's very good survey has been done by Statistical Bureau. For the micro and small company enterprises, what they really need is the working capital. So it can say that they have problem with the working financial to finance the working capital. This confirms that Prof. Moha presented before earlier that SMEs have a problem with the working capital, and it shows that in Indonesia it is very much needed for the micro and small, up to 69% they're needed. The second one they need is the support, the subsidy for electricity. So it seems that they really a heavy pressure. That's the basic needs, electricity, and to run a business with the finance, they're very limited. So this is what they need. This also installment postponement and then access to loans, 71. The interesting things here, there is different need, supporting needed between the micro, small, and medium, large. You see before that working capital for the small and micro is up to 69%, but for the medium and large, only 35%. That means that medium large enterprise, they still have resources, they still have money that they keep the deposit, but then the micro and small, they really get the today revenue, today money for tomorrow for their operating. So a very small amount that they can save, but the large, medium, large, they can save. So they don't, only 35% need working capital, but they need a lot on the electricity, perhaps because they spend a lot for the electricity, so they need a lot. And also the other, they need a lot for tax postponement, which is not really big issue in the micro and small, and installment postponement. This big issue for them, for the medium and large. Maybe they borrow a lot. Yeah. What actions have been done? Government has been spending is the latest data that I got from government for the presidential office. Yeah, it is the latest one that December only spent 695 trillion rupiahs, which is equivalent to 27% of total budget that been allocated for the COVID. Yeah, this is a big amount, more than a quarter. Yeah, and then allocated to health, social, and then to the Ministry of Local Government, to the government institution, and then corporate, SMEs, and business incentive. This program in 3 areas. First, for the increasing demand, so increasing national consumption, the government send money, give money to people, even for the employee, they give also, private employee, they give also money for the increase the demand. And then increase the supply, increasing business activity, yeah, the support for the financial, support for the credit, yeah, for loans, and this is what they have. And economic stability, monetary expansion. So this is what the government has done, and they do it in some phases for that one. Yeah, the money come from the switching some money from some area to the other area, and also borrowing from from the overseas. Now I look at in detail to see that what in terms of SMEs, yeah, about 115 trillion rupiahs they have it for the interest subsidy. This the same what where the micro and medium already need, and placement fund for the structuring, they need the access to funding, and then stop loss, yeah, income tax, investment financing, they've done that, and then productive financial assistance to 12 million micro businesses, yeah, 28 trillion. The issue here, whether it's sufficient or not, that's already been highlighted by Prof. Moha, but this is how the allocation in Indonesia. And the other business incentives for the income tax support, tax exemption, and then installment reduction, and then it does see the same with what the need, but the issue here is about the sufficiency. And in terms of the enterprise itself, yeah, the one before we discussed macro level, now micro level. There was issue highlighted before by Prof. Moha and also Dr. Zul, yeah, this online marketing. But here we can see that only this COVID, so far with the research, with the study survey in July, only 5.7% new business using the online marketing. Yeah, and then the others 47 they already have it before the COVID. Yeah, and then they keep continue. And in the survey, they say that they can make profit higher than before the COVID. So this COVID make the give the advantage for those who have done the marketing online. Yeah, although through the Sophie and the others, Tokopedia, yeah, Bukalapak, Indonesia, but still 46.5 not using online marketing. Now this may be the issue of the capacity. They don't have ability, don't have the human resources that can run the access, they can manage the online marketing. So it's quite large number, 46.5. Yeah, if you got millions of the 65 millions of the SMEs, so this large number that we need big project to move them to the online, because even the future 4.0 we do need on the issue. And how about in terms of changing the business? 62% still operate the same business. 27% does have diversified business. So this is a good quite number that they add more products. But this and then 9.9% change to the other business. So maybe the issue about the 60% still do operate the same business, problem with the capacity also. So there's no ability to move to the other business, although they have problem. For example, it could be also the business is still good also, but need for the research on that. Yeah. Now I come to the end of my presentation. There's some solution need to the existing problems. First is we don't know when this COVID will stop. Yeah, we don't know also whether the vaccine is works effectively to prevent people from the COVID. So, but the main issue then we still have to run a business with disciplined health protocol. Having the limited movement, very tight limitation of movement, it does have a source that will damage the business. So I can see that some countries have very tight, then the growth it does suffer. Yeah. And so it's how to run business with disciplined health protocol, yeah, and then improving SME's capacity with online marketing, production, and change management. I think this the university can do that in this area with the skill that they have, and then improving sufficiency of government supports needs to assess more whether how sufficient that will be done. Yeah, in terms of some business needs support for the electricity and the others. Yeah, is it really sufficient? Big question on that. And then now this issue in Indonesia, corruption. We just heard recently that one minister had done corrupt for the social support. Yeah, that they give for the package to the people, yeah, and then just corruption is very, very sad, yeah, very, yeah, that we have very shameful also, yeah. It should be tough punishment for corruption committed by government officers. I think this solution. Otherwise, the program will not effectively in practice. And ensuring easy access finance from financial institution. I think that's all, Dr. Umam, my presentation, and we come to the question and answer to be much better. Thank you so much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Jazakallah khairan, Dr. Rizal Yahya. From his presentation, I can see that the ayah of Ali Imran 134, الذين ينفقون في السراء والضراء. So it is very important in this crisis. Everybody has the mentality of infaq, mentality of helping, mentality of giving. This unfortunately, like Dr. Rizal said, there is the corruption even in the small money for the poor person. So it is. In this time, is rich but still taking from others, not giving for others. So So I have already written the question from the chat. So it is also I have shared the screen for Prof. Moha from Suhaimi Muhammad Sarif. Assalamualaikum, Prof. How about human aspect in digitalization? Also from Mika Rahayu, I think the same context, Prof. As in financial aspect, digitality marketing, are you explaining? And how about aspect of capability human resource in this condition? Dr. Suhaimi, Brother Suhaimi also asked for Prof. Zul. Assalamualaikum, Prof. Zul. Our banks are not sejahtera and humanizing. It is about humanity, human aspect. They are still using interest-based. Why not offer mudharabah? Our institutions are not less study too, not too bureaucratic, made us inhuman. It is, I think, the problem of modern economy, modern education, and others. And also the question here. Assalamualaikum, our respective Prof. Also, maybe Dr. Rizal also can answer this. Just want to ask how that all financial players and governments are providing financial assistance recently, COVID-19 stimulus package, but SMEs still face challenge from March till now, and GDP decreased 1%. It is in case of Indonesia, of course. Why do not we look to other aspects which can assist them in managing the fund, teaching them how to manage the business, provide more training and others. So I would like to ask Prof. Moha as the senior here to answer first the question raised from Brother Suhaimi, Ibu Mika and others. Yes, please, Prof. Moha.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you for the questions. Very good questions. Those questions, I like the questions as well. All right. For humans aspect in digitalization, this is very right questions. How about that? Actually, when we relate to digitalizations, digitalization itself continuously changes our work tasks. All right, if you like. I mean, every digitalization process, it has take a substantial impacts on humans aspects. That's why I like the question. And we can see how our life changes as a result of this. Example, I'm giving you like from earlier on, we have this diskette. Or before the diskettes, we have this floppy disk, if you remember, in the computers. And then change to CD, change to CD writes, change to pen drive, now we choose drive. All this has changed our tasks. And as a humans, we have to oblige it accordingly because it relates to our productivity and efficiency. So this is the when the digitalization happens, by hook or by crook, all right, humans participate in it accordingly because it comes from humans themselves or ourselves, all right, the innovations, and erase out all those previous products. This is what has been digitalized. Let's say, for example, we go from books to e-books, all right, we go from maps to GPS. Dimensions, all right? We go from photo albums to Instagram. All this has changed, but as the older who don't know how to do Instagrams, all right, then it's not part of this digitalization process. So long that you embrace these digitalizations, you are really having a human aspects of this, without which we cannot follow digitalization's technology by say as simple as that. All right, by knowing digitalization's technology, it is about humans aspect of knowing it. That's one. Secondly, is it become more simpler and accessible to us. All right, without which we are left behind. All right, because of this. But we also can do digitalizations on numbers of humans aspects of perceptions. Like say, for example, we do a rating for hotel Muslim friendly hotel, say for example. All right. How do we know this is Muslim friendly hotel? So we have to have a kind of systems, and this involves a system from the humans' knowledge to put the indicators what we presume as expect as Muslim friendly hotel. All right, that's more or less comply with what we call Maqasid Sharia. Okay, so this is the elements of human digitalizations, if I may say. Unless Dr. Suhaimi has other idea than this, please share it here. I'm sharing this what I know. All right, now let me refer to the second questions. Where is the question earlier? The questions, second question is, I think it's about, I can't remember, I cannot pick up that one. Can you show it again, Dr. Khairul?
Yeah, bro.
All right, okay, here, I see it now. Okay, thank you, Dr. Khairul. Right now, the second question comes from this Anas, brother Anas, all right, asking about financial players providing assistance, recent practice, SMEs. Okay, so manage. Well, when I refers to, when I shared earlier with regards to capacity buildings, it is about capacity activities that we may focus to showing up the sustainability, of course, improving governance, good governance, right? Supporting collaborations, so forth and so forth, including the trainings or retooling staff, retooling workforce from traditional work to modern work to digitalized work, if you like. All right, now we have more works that has been digitalized. So we have to train our human resources to comply with that accordingly. Of course, retooling is about upgrading technical knowledge. All right, I mean from basic to mediums to advanced, if you like. And this is parts of capacity buildings. If earlier on they can only handle on operating sites or as operators, by trainings they can handle more technical and engineering tools and equipments. That is parts of the capacity buildings that enable certain workers, all right, to manage and run the tools and machines. This is coming with, of course, enterprise resource plannings. Also, is parts of capacity buildings when we say ERP. Because ERP under digitalizations, be it payroll, all right, be it cash management, be it technology automations, that needs workforce retoolings and upgradings to know how to use it to be more efficient and productive. All right. Okay. Let me refer to the last one. Last one that's asked everybody, I think, is it? Digital marketing here. Digital marketing. Capability human resource. Yes, that one I emphasize already. Capacity buildings. The last question here is managing teaching how to manage business, provide more trainings. How? Well, through my experience with KPMG, that we have conducted, we have consultation sessions with 30 companies. All right, selected the top 30 companies who we consider as having a good possible enhancement programs. So we provide them a numbers of pathways. All three, there are 7 pathways for them to move ahead, to grow and develop their companies. One of which is financial pathway and enhancements, which is to allow all right, companies to enable them to roll on their capital, working capitals. Because during the COVID, they have less cash, less revenue. Even the support from the governments for the payment for the workers, and then the moratoriums given by the banking institutions, they are not enough. All right, and therefore they need these enhancements. How? All right, we see their commitments, and we see where the companies can leverage on the existing financial institutions, grants and institutions. This is parts of the process. It's not to say that all policy institutions, all support programs provided for SMEs has not reached SME. No, what we are saying is that, all right, some of them could not get access, all right, because of certain parameters that they could not fulfill, like what, collateral, like don't have a business records on financial statements like balance sheet, cash flow, all right, revenue, right? Those are the statements that normally micro and small do not have that sufficient to be provided, and therefore they are left behind. So, but through these specific programs like Penjana, all right, like special programs during the COVID, they are able to do that. They can get those grants, all right, but then they don't know how to get it. This is the issue, all right. So it's our roles also, and everybody's roles here to help them out, to realize what is in there for them to enhance their business accordingly. I think that's all I would like to share. Please, I leave it to other speakers. Thank you. Assalamualaikum.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Moha. Please, Prof. Zul.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi. I think specifically because in terms of time, I just answer what Prof. Suhaimi has raised. He said about sejahtera, which actually is sustainability, okay, and also humanizing. So, and he also mentioned that even the current solution that is given by the banks is still based on finance, using interest rate. So I agree with him that actually this is not the real solution. It's only a temporary solution, because if you see, the moratorium keep on extending. So something must be wrong, because if you add the interest to the amount which is not paid, it has increased, not decreased, you see. So therefore, in fact, I have the conclusion slide, but I don't have to show. I just want to mention that it's high time that the regulators and also the banks should look at alternative of giving finance, not through means of debt, not the means of interest rate and whatever conventional. Basically now what you are doing, we're just converting what the conventional into Islamic. This is not right. There's issue of sustainability, humanization. Therefore, you should move into other type of alternative. For example, the best one that I can think now is Waqaf. Where is the Waqaf instrument? This is the main instrument that, what they call that under Islam. We are trained by this. What happened to the Waqaf? It was very successful during the Prophet's time. And there's so many of these Waqaf businesses in Saudi, in Egypt, and also, of course, now in Indonesia and all those. But we are not actually using this knowledge, our own Islamic knowledge. You should explore into this area and move to issue like, for example, zakat. I also commented just now. This is an ashnaf, they are eligible to it. Now, see, in Malaysia only I can see now they are moving all these funds, which is based on Islamic principles, to actually help the COVID people. So they should be realized long ago. So in a way, you can say COVID is also a blessing. All right, a blessing for us Muslim to open our eyes to actually to look really into the Islamic principles. For example, like zakat, wakaf, and even sadaqah. Even sadaqah is not compulsory. And the main thing, as I think Prof. Umar can also conclude later on, there are three things that that will bring to the grave, right? One is, of course, the sadaqah, right? Sadaqah jariyah, this is one thing. Then the sharing of the knowledge and, of course, the prayers of the good children, okay? So I totally agree with him maybe if we can have a resolution for this conference, we do a research, maybe UMY, IIUM, Unusila, Unida, okay, we should do more research with regard to what do you call that, Islamic principles finance. Okay, that's my answer. So the second one, maybe Prof. Rizal can answer with that.
Okay, please, Dr. Rizal, to continue answering. There is the question from Anas Abu Jaish.
Anas, yes.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Umar, Mr. Chairman. There's a question about the assistance that can be provided to the SMEs. Yeah, I agree with your suggestion that we need to do some things as a university. We have the human capital, we have the technology that we can use to get access to those, and we can share, we can help those in many aspects, managing business, especially for those that moving, upgrading them, increasing their capacity for the online marketing, online management, online business that they have. Yeah, we can make assessment which media which is better they have. We can help them also with the website also. Yeah, we can assist them with there are number of free internet that's they can promote their product. Yeah, and also the social media as well. So this is one of the things that the university people, I can see that quite a number of the participants here from many universities, as we can see that the SMEs, yeah, still lack of ability to adapt with this situation. Yeah, only see my presentation before, only 5% that never been done, never had with the online marketing, then have the online marketing. But there's still another large number, yeah, almost 50% that still do not move at all to the online marketing. So this is a challenge for us at the university level. We can make the, if it is Indonesia, we have the program with the community engagement. I believe the idea of the community engagement that the university have can be directed to that area. Yeah, there is also some program to increase the health protocol, COVID. They adhere to the COVID protocol, but I think it is more strategic that the university student people help to improve the capacity. One of the very important is capacity to move to the online business, because at this time, if you don't do online, you're very limited. You cannot do much. So this is one of the things. And then about the fund, managing the fund, yeah, I believe also that it is something that we can do, but perhaps the government maybe can increase the value added of the money that they send to the SMEs, yeah, in terms of grant and some in terms of loan. Yeah, they can also use the university, yeah, to hand in hand, so the university can help how to use the fund effectively. Yeah, just worry if the fund is given and they just use for consumption. Yeah, in fact that for the business, the support is given for them to run the business more effective, and then they can wake up and then they can run the business well. Yeah, but in different way. Let's say we have a normal way. This one, the demand is still there actually. Yeah? The demand is still there. That the but then they cannot access. So with this online, yeah, the connection is there. So this, I agree with this suggestion. and then more training, a lot of trainings, yeah, that I think we can give. But perhaps if we do offline training, that's supposed to be another challenge with the COVID protocol that we have to do. Yeah, and we don't know when the COVID go away from our life, but seems maybe it will stay forever, and not sure also about the vaccine. So we have to have the proactive program, the university, and then I think the government so far do not involve much the university. I think this is one of the solution also, yeah, especially in Indonesia. Maybe they think that the university just and some universities are still busy with their own problems also because they're affected by COVID. But I think, yeah, we have to wake up and then to do something, although in difficult situation. But I think university have capacity to do that. Okay, I think that's all. Thank you, Dr. Umam. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much for the result. So there is from here, there is no the name, just Asus to everyone. I strongly agree with Dr. Zul about the need of Waqaf and Zakat to use as new financial assistance, but government policy should focus on this. Okay, we are at the end of our seminar, I think, because we have already in 11 and already in 12 for Malaysian time. But before ending this seminar, I would like to ask Prof. Moha and then Prof. Zul and last Dr. Rizal to give his last statement or last also can highlight some issues on Waqaf, Zakat and others. Please, I would like to welcome first for Prof. Moha and then Dr. Zul and then Dr. Rizal. Yeah. Yes, please, Prof. Moha.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Horil. For me, I just would like to wrap up what I have shared earlier in the sessions. That during the COVID-19 now, that we really have to understand the issues and challenges faced by MSMEs that may have been different than the normal times that they have, normal or some other times that they used to have. So specific issues that we can understand, the better for us to aware of their needs, for us to address any possible solutions for SMEs to be sustainable in the markets. In view of this, to me, the most important solutions is still with regards to the finance. And when I say finance, it's about 3 layers of 3 cascading areas where we have to address, which is availability. We have to provide availability of the financial resources, accessibility of the financial resources, as well as the sufficiency for them to move and be sustainable in the markets. The second one is about the trainings itself, which also in a way enhance capacity buildings of the companies in many areas, all right? Trainings in digitalizations, trainings in human resource developments, okay? As well as trainings of knowledge in all areas of business operations, and more likely about e-commerce and cyber presence of the firms. The third one is assistance in terms of improving technology adoptions, which is on the front end needs of SMEs, the automations that's enable them to compete and remain competitive in the markets. The last but not least is about digitalizations. But in addition to this, of course, the moving trend growing trends now is also about crowdfunding. All right, and of course, wakaf and zakat also can come in. As I don't want to touch on that, as Dr. Zul has already detailed out some of it. But as far as crowdfunding, it's very interesting also for firms to survive, because crowdfunding allow them not to have this times waiting longer, can get access much cheaper, especially peer-to-peer funding, crowdfunding, because crowdfunding is about the trust that you try to, and the proposal that you try to present to your potential investors. Your potential investors can be peers, can be business angels, all right, and can be venture capitalists. So as far as business angels concerned, those are individuals with the money, but perhaps they would like to see their money grow further. So as SMEs is a growing, fast-growing sector or industry relatively as opposed to large, then it suit well the business angels like this interest, or like this nature of business angel. I think that's all I would like to share for today. Thank you very much for having me, and please forgive me if there is any wrongdoing, shortcomings from myself. It's from myself, not from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So with that, thank you very much for all, be it our chairmen and co-speakers, as well as all the audience. With that, thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Prof. Ma. Please, Dr. Zul Jastri.
Yeah, thank you very much for all the attendance. Okay, I see about 66 here. That's not matter. But I would just like to I think most of it also mentioned by Prof, is that there's a need now to look to alternative way of doing business. Okay, COVID teaches us many things, right? Need to be together, community work. All right, tolong menolong, gotong royong, whatever this we call in Malaysia gotong royong. I don't know what you call it in Indonesia. There's a need to look at things you will have to look at things from the macro perspective, not so much of micro. Macro also yes, but what I'm trying to say here is that this is not only one way for us to do business, not that way. All right. So when you isn't that way, then everybody get caught, you know. And most of the small business, they get caught because they are not prepared, right? We talk about literacy just now. They are not prepared. They do not know. In Malaysia, we have the experience that the small business are not separating the business income and their individual income. This is a very big issue here. Because when you have business income, that business income is supposed to add up as return earning to build up your business. But if you mix around your individual income and your business income, then we have problem in using the business income for spending. You know, you buy car, you use credit card and whatnot. So at the end of the day, you can't really distinguish which is actually your money, which is actually your business money. All right, so that is called literacy, and literacy, Prof. Maha mentioned, can really be dealt from training. More so, as I said, is we are need now. All these 4 universities must gather together and form up a team to look into the research aspects. Okay, and that also has been mentioned: training, form of digitalization, literacy, and also finding out new product. Understand, Pak Umam, in UNIDA, you have a Wakaf center, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I think we have utilized your Wakaf center and for the benefit of these 3 universities.
Inshallah.
We can do presentation there.
Inshallah.
All right, that's all for me. Thank you very much. Thanks for all listening to me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Zul. Please, Dr. Rizal.
Okay, sorry, I was mute.
A minute.
All the things has been highlighted by Prof. Moha and summarized by Dr. Zul also. Only very little space for me that I can add. I see this one of positive things of this COVID is now people buy more to their neighbor. I can see that phenomenon. Usually they go, some of my friends, most of them go to the supermarket, hypermarket, yeah. But then because of the COVID, they don't go out for quite long, and this buy what they need for the community along them. This is good for helping the SMEs, because SMEs is nearby by us. If you don't buy, then nobody else will buy, because they will access nearby. Yeah, they have the ability with the, we do have the online now. Yeah, but then what we practice with the uh, uh, buying, shopping to our nearby a neighborhood that they provide the goods. That's one of the things to help. And the other things, yeah, for the support, I believe our Islamic institution, I agree that we have zakat, we have sedekah, that, yeah, we can establish in our around community, for example, like masjid should be able also to have the program to support their environment around it. Identify those who are acted badly, and then give the support. Zakat can help for that in that area, so we can prevent more poor people around us. Yeah, and others that also that small community like masjid can help support also. Yeah, for the identify business that can do what they can sell. I mean, that's promote the products, and then among the Jamaah Masjid can do that. I think we have thousands, hundreds, thousands of masjid. Then we can utilize this also as an institution. Yeah. So this, because this we don't go much around, but we still can go to the masjid, and we can manage also the masjid. So rather, yeah, we cannot have massive pengajian, but we can have the selected program to help people. And also in the there's in the macro level, there's also actually trade-off. When more support from the government, in fact the money comes from the loan overseas, that will increase the government loans also, government debt. In the long term, that may have problem also with their inability to pay, so high cost in the future. So what we do at the moment is to strengthen, as what the Prof. Moha said, I agree, capacity of the SMEs. So not, yeah, not depending much on the, I mean, that's from the grant provided as before, but now at the level of the self, increasing the strength of the SMEs, yeah, the capacity personnel, and I think that can be supported by the university. University can help. University can have the human resources to do that, and then I think that the contribution that the university can do. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Rizal Yahya. And then we are at the end of our webinar. Inshallah, we will have another seminar online, inshallah, and hopefully we also can have the offline version one. And to end this seminar online, I would like to highlight a very important things. Actually, today we are learning together, we are increasing our knowledge, and then we can be the person who has adapt, because in Islam, the term of teaching is ta'dib. Mean we are becoming has adapt. Adapt meaning is we know who we are. We know who we are in front of our God. And today, actually, we are talking about human as human and how human can solve the problem. But unfortunately, sometimes human is reducing his humanity. He is not realizing that he is the key actor in this world. And another, there is the concept of taskhir. Another is actually under our control, but unfortunately today humans thinking to make dhulam to other human, and then sometimes we find human not understand about his position in front of God. He is so afraid about rizq, and he doesn't know that the rizq is from God, but the thing that he has to do is to do his best in this world. And today we are learning we have to put ourselves in our sector. If we are academicians, we can do research, we can give some alternative to the governments, to SMEs and others. And this book is actually about that. This book is done by academicians, by researchers. We are doing research to many SMEs. And by this research, hopefully, we can understand better SMEs and we can make them more literate and more have a better understanding about how to face the problem in this world, because actually there is no problem actually in this world. The problem is about can we have syukur or sabr, because a Muslim every time we have the problem, we just have two choices, whether we have syukur or whether we in sabr. And finally, we really very interested in this today. There are many aspects highlighted today, and we see the importance of MSMEs, which is in GDP, his portion is less than the big entrepreneurship, the big firms, but in terms of employment, it has a bigger share in the country. So concentrating to the MSMEs will lead us to the real welfare, and we can give the solution for our current or modern problem of economic, which is inequality. Yes, we have today inequality. It is highlighted by Stiglitz, for example, by Piketty. Inshallah, by focusing on this MSMEs, by focusing on by Islamic finance, which is based on mudarabah and musyarakah, inshallah, we will have a better welfare and not again unequal GDP, inshallah. Okay. Maybe we can take quotation first. Everybody has video because we want.
Prof.
We like to take a photo, group photo before we leave.
Ready to
di mana
I will start.
Yes, everybody should on their video. Inshallah.
So until 3 for the first. 1, 2. Please smile. 3. Yes. Yes. So for the next, I would like also everybody to turn on this video. 1, 2, 3. Okay, for the next.
The share screen maybe need to stop.
Oh yeah. Oh, my screen is still.
Yeah.
Okay, I will stop first.
Yeah. So we can have the video.
I don't.
Stop
Sorry.
presentation.
Stop presentation.
Stop presentation.
Stop presentation.
I think it is stop already.
Not yet.
Not
Share
yet.
screen. Stop share screen. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Now.
So we repeat from the first. Yes, please. Everybody has his own video. Okay, we start. 1, 2, 3. 3, Bismillah. Yes.
Please open the
Second,
video.
yeah, please open the
Wait,
video.
wait a second.
Foto saya.
Open the video.
Kalau masa gambar macam ni kau masuk.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Yes. Thank you very much for all the participants.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Please, everybody, to
Inshallah, we will have another webinar part on another topic.
We close by reciting Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi.
Okay, let's go. Birthday boy.
Okay.
Let's go.
Yes. Everybody.
Thank you
Can
so
we have
much.
the slide, please?
I promise it.
Thank you, Prof. Hasan. Thank you, everybody, for attending the webinar.
Thank you. Ya, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam.
Thank you.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Prof. Gagaring Pagalung. Terima kasih, Pak Prof.